friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm 3 weeks into traveling. I started this one with another person, but now I'm flying solo. So it's going to be a challenge. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to see who I am without other people around me, so to speak. I wanted to travel alone, so this next 10 days I'm going to be all alone. I'm now prepared to go to breakfast in the hotel. I'm not going to film there because I'm too embarrassed, but after that I will take my laptop and go to a cafe to work. I can work here, but it defeats the point of the exercise, I think, because I could very well work from home, from my apartment. I have a regular work day today, the same one I would have if I was back home, so I will actually have to work as a normal person, as I usually do, and we'll see what's gonna happen. I never actually worked the full day from a cafe in my entire life for some reason. I think it's the discomfort of other people that stopped me, or maybe the embarrassment of other people seeing me for a long while in a public space. I don't know, I can't explain it, but we're going to try today. I will take a book with me in case I will want to read something during my lunch break. I don't know why I did this. It's a lunch break indeed. This is something that I bought recently, a Marvellous Light by Freya Marske. It's supposed to be a historical fantasy with a gay romantic subplot. I bought this in Asia Books last week. I went to a mall here. They do have a really good selection of English books, so this is gonna be the read for today. Maybe I will change my mind and read something on audio. We will see. I really only had two choices, to go to the coffee club or to go to Starbucks, and I decided to go to coffee club, as you can see, because I just don't like Starbucks all that much. It's overrated and for most part very unhealthy. They put way too much sugar in their drinks, and I should have went to Starbucks because the internet in the coffee club was shit. I couldn't get a proper connection. So I decided to eat some lunch and to go back to my hotel. I actually managed to work quite a bit. I was doing YouTube in the background, listening to my favorite vloggers. When I don't read that much, I don't watch booktube content. I watch general lifestyle content, which is what I'm doing right now. I made a trip to Boots on my way to the hotel and bought a bunch of different Korean face masks, and I just slapped it on for the vibes. It was just a really boring, really regular work day with a different background than I usually get. There is a bird. Oh, it flew away. There was a bird on my balcony. Anyway, I'm still working. I will go on a break soon-ish. I'm finishing the report, and the reports are so annoying for me, for my personality, that I need to take breaks after because they're just not something that I like to do. So I will take a break after finishing the report, have some fruit. I have some leftover fruit from yesterday, and maybe read a little bit. That's the plan. This was not my first time going to Phuket. Well, it's all Phuket. What I meant is to the center of the city. I went to the old city. Can't really put it in the video because it doesn't seem very logical since it's a vlog. I also went to see some other malls, and I consistently took this little bus, which is public transport, and it costs 40 baht. It's very convenient. I initially expected to be way too hot because it's hot there, but the ventilation is working, as in it doesn't have any doors or windows. I also really enjoy going to the city on the bus, not because it's cheap. I can afford a taxi, I swear. It's just nicer because you can see everything around you. It's not a particularly fast bus. And also at the same time, you see all kinds of people, tourists and locals. It's nice. You can live vicariously through this footage and look at this beautiful nature. This time I went to central Phuket, and since it was June, they were all about the Pride activities. I have not filmed anything because it felt weird filming artists there, but I was given a Pride flag, which was cute. I went to the mall to see the last animated Spider-Man movie, and it was really good. Highly recommended. Anyway, loved the movie, could not fight myself and went to the bookstore. So here's a bit of footage from Asia Books. It's not that much of variety as 𝕊𝕆𝕀𝔸𝕃, which I went to last year when I was in Bangkok, but still I saw a lot of books that I really wanted and even bought some. And the most interesting thing about the display was that Red, White and Royal Blue apparently now is a classic. Gays, we won. Hi, I barely vlogged yesterday. I will try to do something about it with voiceover. But Saturdays are the days where I typically relax and don't do anything huge or important. So I took an opportunity and went to the movie theater here, which was okay. I wouldn't say that it's this grand movie theater. I went to see the new Spider-Verse movie, which was such a bop. I always love those, and it clearly has a very to-be-continued feel about the ending. It literally says to be continued. I think the second one actually is better than the first one. It feels more mature, and as an adult, I love that. Though the theater was full of kids, and I mean, I'm not surprised about that. Oh, by the way, this pile of clothes is my laundry. I need to do it. I need to go to the laundromat, which is also a thing that is unusual for me because we don't have laundromats. The thing that didn't work out, and I couldn't convince myself to not do it, is buying more books. As in, I bought more books. I went to the Asia Books again, and I bought myself 2 books because no one watched over me. The books that I bought are still in plastic. I don't know why they do this. It's 𝕊𝕆𝕀𝕸𝕃 by 𝕊𝕆𝕀𝕁. I don't know why I did this. I think it's because this book is fairly popular and I was always interested in it. I think it's going to make a good reading vlog. Tell me if you want that. And it was available. I don't know. I just wanted to do it for some reason. The second book that I bought is also one of the books that was on my TBR for a while. It's A Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Bashir. I've read her first book, the Snow White book, and I really enjoyed this. This one is supposed to be also a retelling of a fairy tale. I don't know which one, but I will figure it out later. The cover is really gorgeous. So I bought 2 more books because I don't have any self-control. I've read a lot though in this past 2 days. Let's talk about the Marvellous Light by Freya Marske first, because that's the book that we've talked about already. It's pretty cool. It gives me the Magician's vibes, as in it's a general human society with hidden magic. They're existing in the same way a secret organization would exist, and I love that. It's the vibe that I'm looking for in urban fantasy. This one is actually not urban fantasy, it's historical fantasy, but I love the same world with a little bit of magic, a secret society that has magic. This is absolutely and undeniably my vibe. I love it. This is about Robin. He's of gentry and he's trying to save his parents' estate, who were very excessive spenders. And through a connection, he gets a very unusual job that he doesn't know what to expect from. He only discovers the nature of the job when Edwin, a mysterious man, comes to meet up with him at work and tells him about it. He also shares his worries about a previous employee who had Robin's job and his mysterious disappearance. Robin's job basically is to report possibly magical occurrences and situations, so the magical society would deal with them. I don't know what that entails yet, but I suspect it's not very peaceful. So I'm enjoying it. I think there's going to be a romance between Edwin and Robin. I feel it. My gay bones are tingling, and I'm really into that. You know, I love a historical romance. If you add a little bit of magic to it, that's my perfect book. Plus, this book has the vibes of The House on the Cerulean Sea. So that's the physical book that I'm reading. Maybe I will read more while I'm waiting for the washing machine to do my laundry. Or maybe I will come back and film, because today I have to film too. And the second book that I'm reading at the same time, I was listening to the audiobook yesterday while moving around, is No Exit. And this is a surprising pick because initially I wanted to read queer romances and queer books in this reading vlog because I felt like it. But I had this audiobook on my Scribd for a bit and I've heard so many good things about it. And you know, I love a good thriller. They're quick, they're entertaining, and this one is definitely quick, definitely entertaining. It's twisty, it's unexpected, it's really cool, and I love the villain in it. No Exit is about a girl named Darby. She is in uni and she promised to never come back to Utah, to her hometown, willingly at least. But then she gets the news from her sister that their mom is suffering from pancreatic cancer and it's very aggressive, so she needs to come back home for the holidays. To her luck, the roads get snowed in while she is in the middle of her journey, and she has to stay at the rest stop with a bunch of different people. Darby is trying to find signal to send a message to the authorities so they would save them and extract them from that situation. Instead, she finds a car with a child in a dog cradle. It's very obvious that this child was kidnapped and she doesn't know who the car belongs to. So she needs to figure out who's the perpetrator and what to do about it. She doesn't know who to trust with this information, so she's basically on her own. It's incredible. So many twists, so many turns. It has so many tense moments. It's like watching a really good thriller. I have about 6 chapters left and I'm very curious how this is going to end because Darby is an absolute goat. She is incredible. I always think what I would do in this kind of situation, and I don't think that I would be able to do a lot. She managed to collect herself pretty well and to come up with strategies. I love that. I think it's incredible. And the psychology behind the villain, his motives, his personality, it's so good. I finally finished reading at least one of the books out of this whole reading vlog. It's No Exit, and I want to give it 5 stars so bad. Maybe I should if I want to. I don't know why I'm hesitating. It's not like it's money, it's just a star. I know myself, I'm not going to read a thriller a second time. So it's hard for me to give thrillers 5 stars because to me, 5-star books are books that I'm willing to read a second time, even though I usually don't have the time for that. Maybe when I'll stop making booktube videos. But the plot twists in the No Exit were stuck so well, and it's such a good book pacing wise, and the characters are excellent. I don't know what to do. I kind of really want to give it 5 stars, and I think I'm going to do it. It's one of the best thrillers that I've read. I would compare it to Karen Slaughter, although Karen Slaughter definitely goes a bit deeper into personal struggles and personal motivations, but it's comparable. I really want this book to be adapted into a movie because I think it's gonna make a really good one. And I love a good thriller that doesn't have scary, like outright scary parts. This is not a scary book. It's a pure psychological thriller. At this point, I have only a few days left here, and as you know, I'm working at the same time, so it's not like I have an infinite amount of time. And I gotta finish 2 books because I picked up an ebook and I read only a little bit of it, and I'm going to talk about it later because I have nothing to say yet, but it's a queer romance. And I also have this, which I have read a bit. I always struggle with physical books, you know that. I had to work the majority of my time in Thailand because I've spent my actual vacation on South Korea and had a few days left over for Thailand. Then I just remained there and worked as usual. So my actual working schedule was a bit weird because of the time zones. In the morning, I went to breakfast and then had a bunch of hours free from work because my office had not woken up yet. Then I would work, wouldn't be hungry yet, and would go to the pool during lunch. I would read my books, chill and swim, then would go back to my laptop and work, and then would go back to the pool to take my last swim of the day. It gets dark really quickly in Thailand, so I would have an hour of swimming left. And the best part about swimming at night is that the water is very, very warm. No other guests think about doing it. And also you can lay back and watch the stars, which was what I was doing the whole time on my trip. I'm having a good day actually. This is a green tea matcha latte or something. From 7-Eleven, and when you ask them to make it less sweet, they do, which is fabulous because in Thai, for some reason, people really love sugar, it seems. Everything has sugar in it. Everything is slightly sweet and it's bad for my sugar levels and I have issues with that, but I'll check them when I come back home. I've been reading a lot recently, and the book that I've been putting most effort in is Alone, ironically, and I'm really enjoying it because I've been trying to find more original FF romances, because without a good plot or without a specific dynamic that I enjoy, romances are not that interesting to me, I'm finding. And this one is indeed original and interesting and unusual. I would say even if it was not a romance, I'd read it. So the book follows a woman named Celeste. She's 30, I think, and she comes from a very unstable upbringing. Her mother was troubled and she had to take care of her little sister. She doesn't have much money, so she decides to participate in a very odd experiment. She finds the flyer for it in her cafe, and she doesn't like her barista job anymore, so she calls the number. The experiment involves isolating her in the woods for about 3 to 4 years. She would be completely packed and cared for in terms of food and in terms of things that she needs, but she won't have human contact. The point of the experiment, or so the people organizing it told the heroine, is to see if astronauts left on their own on the spaceship or anywhere would be able to not go bananas alone if something happens to the crew. So Celeste takes on the job, it seems important to her, and it also pays very well. She has to stay isolated in the house the whole time or she won't be paid, and the only way of communication with the people conducting this experiment is through the computer. She's completely isolated from images of humans, and she also has an electric field around the house, so she can't leave it. After she spends the majority of time In the experiment, a woman appears near her house and she accidentally shoots her because she believes that it's a wild animal, and she has to take her into the house and care for her. And she's facing a very difficult choice, because on one hand she has to tell the people that are conducting the experiment that it was contaminated and she has a person in the house, and on the other hand she's very happy to have company. It's very interesting, especially because it's a romance, because she starts having feelings for this woman, and I wonder if it's because of the situation she's in and because this woman is the only woman that she has in her vicinity, or she genuinely feels things for her because of who she is. It's a very unusual romance, and I really enjoy it because it has something else going on, and because forced proximity is one of my favorite tropes. Plus, it feels somewhat dystopian in nature because they are alone in the woods and they have to survive-ish. They are given everything, but at the same time, I feel like being alone with someone for a long while and not being able to leave is survival-ish adjacent. On my second to last day in Thailand, I actually went to Starbucks to work, and the internet was incredible. I met this local cat that was attention seeking. I called her once and she went around me and went after me, meowing the whole time. And I pet her and then immediately regretted it because she had a bald patch on her body, which means she has something contagious. So I had to wash my hands 100 of times. I walked around on the beach till sunset and really enjoyed the peace and calm. And on the next day, I was not peaceful and calm because I had to pick my shit together and go to the airport. It's been a while since I've edited this vlog. I admit it. I've been home for about 2 weeks now. I wasn't reading much. I was reading one book and it's incredible and I'm going to talk about it. But I've spent so much time not home, more than a month, that I really needed to recharge and figure out what's my routine is now. So I was struggling a little bit with general tasks and I'm only now getting back into the groove of things. I've been seeing a lot of my friends though and my family a lot because I miss them, so that makes sense for all of us. The book that I've been obsessed with and I genuinely really love, I just love the experience of reading it, is A Marvellous Light by Freya Marske. Now, if you love The House in the Cerulean Sea and 𝕊𝕆𝕀𝔸𝕃 in general, if you love K.J. Charles, it's very K.J. Charles with some magic, you're going to enjoy this book. If you read a lot of post-Hogwarts Drarry fanfiction that had to do with a specific case or like a curse, this is gonna remind you of that. I will also say if you liked Carry On when it came out, but now you want to get a magical world, a really cool gay romance, and also at the same time you want it to be adult, this book. Chapter 6 rolls in and I'm obsessed. It's very let's figure out what to do with this curse type of story. It's very adventurous, and during this adventure these two characters fall in love, which is perfection. It's so good. I love this kind of stories. So Robin and Edwin are trying to figure out how to break Robin's curse, because when he was attacked in the first chapter by the guys that killed his previous position holder, they also cursed him, and Edwin is trying to help him with that while they're looking for the guy that disappeared. The setup is very good, but the characters as well are really well crafted. It's easy to fall in love with them, especially with Edwin. He's a tough exterior type of guy, very cold, very unfriendly, but deep down he's a softie, and he's trying to compensate his lack of magical abilities with knowledge. He has magical abilities, but his powers are pretty weak, and he's been severely bullied for it by his family, specifically his father and his older brother. These kinds of characters are my favorite too, so I just really love him. In the 6th chapter, I believe they're going to Edwin's house to raid the library and see if they can find something about the curse, and we meet his family. His family is absolutely horrendous. Immediately I'm like, my poor summer child, I love you, I want the best for you, and I'm obsessed with this whole world. The romance too is building up, and the dynamic is so swoony. I am just obsessed with it. I heard you. As you can tell, I have to go and take the laundry out of the washing machine, but this book is magnificent. This summer is truly an experience. It's hot and sunny one day and then it's raining for a week, and yesterday I went out with a friend to an evening of Celtic music, and it's been fun, but it started raining in the middle of it, and the place had huge windows, so it was atmospheric, definitely. But did I like going back home without an umbrella after? No. So it's been raining since then. It stopped briefly. I hope that's the end of it, but it might be not. We're here to talk about books, and the book that I finished actually is Alone. It was definitely very interesting. I struggled to call it a romance, although the author really tried at the end to make it into one, but I think it's very much a thriller/romance. I would call it a darkish romance. I enjoyed the experience of reading it because it was unusual for an FF romance. I have not read many that had such an interesting plot. But I do think that if we are considering it a romance, and it is the way it's marketed, it's not as satisfying as I want it to be, because I don't think the heroine groveled enough for this relationship to work. The whole thing about this book is that it's an experiment in how long and how well a person can survive on their own without going on the rockets. And Celeste, the protagonist, is pretty successful in that until she finds an accidental company. So from that point on, they're stuck in the house together, and pretty quickly Celeste starts relying on Liv for company and starts experiencing feelings for her because she's been so isolated from human contact. And it's a pretty interesting thing to read about, but their romance in many ways is artificial because of the circumstances. And I think the book tried to address it a few times, but it brushed it under the carpet, and at the end came to the conclusion that it was just love from the first sight, not a byproduct of the experience. And I didn't like that. I would have liked it more if it was probably addressed after the experiment, and they would have tried to build a relationship based on a similar experience that they've shared without completely ignoring it. I do think that it was resolved too quickly and too easily. Now, on one hand, I understand that a lot of people would do the same thing, because humans are more forgiving of people that they are in love with. But as a person who's not involved in the relationship, I would have wanted for Celeste to push back more. That is just my opinion. But this book is incredibly unique, and I definitely recommend it. I didn't give it 5 stars because of the issues that I've had with it, but I gave it 4 stars, and I really enjoyed the experience of reading it. I have not read any FF romances that were the same way. I would say it's a darkish romance because of the themes that are a part of it, and I definitely enjoyed it. I only have about 80 pages left in the last book that I'm reading, so the next clip is probably gonna be the last one, and then I will have to edit. I don't know how I'm going to edit this vlog. It's gonna be so long. Anyway, I'm back to making my smoothie. Wish me luck. I will see you in a second. I hope I'm in focus right now. I'm back to my usual setup with the camera, not filming on my phone anymore. And filming on your phone is definitely easier, even though I genuinely don't like the process of transferring things to my laptop. Just in general, it's slower. The video editor, for some reason, just lags with videos that are filmed on the phone, which is the most annoying part of it. I'm struggling. The clicky thingy doesn't work as it should, and I'm just relying on luck at this point. I finished reading the last book of this vlog. It's, as you know, A Marvellous Light by Freya Marske, and I love this. I cannot wait to dive into the sequel because there is a bit of a cliffhanger, foreshadowing type of finale here, and I don't know if we're going to see the same characters again, but I hope so because I really love them. It's very adventurous, it's very fun. It gives me the feeling of falling in love with books for the first time as a teenager. And I love when I can find that in books that I'm reading as an adult. It's harder to please me, I'm more picky, but this book amused me. It was genuinely a very good reading experience. One of those experiences that you get into reading for. So, if you are eyeing this book, and if you like historical fantasies, I would even call it a romantasy because it is heavily reliant on the romantic storyline. I highly recommend this. If you love the same books I do, Cat Sebastian, KJ Charles, pick this book up. You're not going to regret it. I hope so. This is it for the vlog though. I would say it was very, very successful. In the comment section, tell me if you read any of the books that I've read in this video. What you thought of them? Share your opinions. And also tell me if you want me to do a romantasy related video. I'm thinking of doing queer romantasy recommendations. I need to read a bit more to do this, but if you're interested, because I'm very much in the mood for that subgenre and I think I'm going to read more. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it wasn't too long. I will see you soon with another one, but until then,